Hi everyone, my name is Gareth and I'm a product manager for Open DevOps at Atlassian. Today, I'm going to be walking you through an update. From talking to customers, we realized that they were facing important decisions for their development toolchain. That is, either choosing best of breed tools or an all-in-one suite. We've seen companies either consolidate all their tools to a single vendor or resign themselves to a disjointed best of breed toolchain. We found tool consolidation results in teams settling for good enough. However, at Atlassian, we believe the best development toolchains require the flexibility to support multiple tools. And that's why we've built Open DevOps. Teams that build software can focus on shipping value to their customers while we take on the complexity of integrating their toolchains. So our mission is to build the world's most flexible, scalable, and open DevOps solution that helps software teams ship high-quality software faster. Today, we have a core set of experiences and insights across key Agile and DevOps touchpoints in Jira Software, such as plan, track, code, deploy, release, and on-call. In the future, we want to expand on this to include all the experiences and integrations that software teams use to get their work done. We believe we can support teams by supercharging the delivery of software by providing them insights across the entire software delivery lifecycle. Some key callouts here that we intend to explore include testing, security, and observability. The underlying architecture that powers our experiences is the DevOps graph, which is our storage and event streaming mechanism. The graph houses all of the data entities that are sent to us from third parties and provides ways in which we can respond and react to those events. We are able to derive relationships between these entities, which have enabled us to build the experiences that we have today. Once you sign up for Open DevOps, we will automatically provision Jira Software, Bitbucket, Confluence, and Opsgenie. You will then start by creating a new Jira Software project. By default, we will create and connect a new Jira Software project, a Bitbucket repository, an Opsgenie team, and a Confluence space. As part of the project creation process, you can select different tools that your team may use, and we'll prompt you to connect those later on. You'll then be shown the Jira Software board. This includes a guide to help you get started with Open DevOps. I mentioned that you can connect other tools that your team may be using. For example, GitHub. You can connect the GitHub app to your Jira Software site, which means you can then use the GitHub information in Jira. One of the ways you can use this integration is to connect a new GitHub repo to a new Jira Software project. In order to do that, you select the Connect Repositories and More option, as shown here, and then click Next. Now, from the connection screen, you can select to create new work containers to link to your Jira Software project. In this example, you can see that we're creating a new GitHub repo as part of this process. And this is a pattern that we intend to extend as we add more integrations in the future. So I'm in Jira now, and the first experience I want to show you is the development and release panel. So you can see here all of the development and release information that has been associated with the Jira issue view. So the intent here is to provide more context around the issue itself. You can see here the entities that we have, and I can click on any of these to get more information. So if I click on this one here, you can see that we have more information about this particular commit. So you can see the author, the commit hash, and the message. And this is true of all of these entities across the top here. If I go to deployments, for example, I can see all of the deployments that have been associated with this issue, but I can also see a way to go out to the provider if I want to get more information and do more of a deep dive on specific deployments. So that's where we started with Open DevOps. The next experience I want to show you is the code page. So the code page basically shows the team all of the repos that they're working across. And this is based on the development activity. So as developers are including issue keys in their commits, branches, and pull requests, we're automatically able to determine that relationship between repository and project and store that in the graph and display that back out to the team so that they can see all of the repos that are currently being worked on. And this is ordered by latest activity first as well. So we do have plans to improve this experience, such as adding open branches and open pull requests in the future. So the next experience I'd like to show is the deployments view. So the deployment view allows you to see how work is progressing through the deployment pipeline. So you can see as it moves from development, staging, and ultimately out to production, and you can basically, that's visible to the entire team. You can also filter and slice this information in a way that makes sense for you. So for example, if I'm a QA person, perhaps I can hop into the environment filter and update to only show those issues that are on staging so that I know which ones I can test. Or maybe I'm a product manager and there's a particular feature or epic I care about the progress of. I can then update the epic filter and slice that information in that way. So at the start of the year, we introduced some DevOps metrics. So we have here deployment frequency and cycle time metrics. And we put these on the deployments view as the deployments view refers to all the value that the team is shipping. And these two metrics referred to velocity. So we thought it made more sense to include these in the context of this view so that teams can get a sense for how often they're shipping value and how long that's taking. In the last couple of months, we've actually introduced 2 new full page reports for these DevOps metrics. So the first one is the deployment frequency report. So you can see the team's deployment frequency week by week. You can monitor how the weekly performance is trending against the rolling 12-week average with this dotted line here. We've also, with this graph, able to show you the number of issues that are included in each of the deployments so that teams can keep track of their batch size as a ways to reducing risk. Obviously, the less issues that are in a deployment, the better in terms of managing risk. So we wanted to surface that information here. Also, as part of our research, we found that teams only had control over deploying to certain environments. And so we wanted to provide a breakdown of the number of deployments that are going out by environment. So that's the intent here with this chart. And as we scroll down the page at the bottom here, you can see a weekly view. So this is the week that is currently selected at the top. And you can see the activity that's happening throughout that week. And the idea here is that we want to show the number of issues, again, that are going out in each deployment and how that's trending over the average. So you can keep a track on a weekly basis on how you're performing with your deployment frequency. The next report I want to show you is the cycle time report. So cycle time is that initial commit through to that commit, making it out to production. So similarly with the deployment frequency report, we show a weekly breakdown of that. You can also see how that's trending on that 12-week rolling average via this trend line here. As we scroll down to the bottom of the page here, you can see the weekly view of your cycle time. You can see which issues are exceeding that rolling average. And we've provided more context and more information about these particular issues. So things like the number of pull requests that are associated with this issue or the number of commits. And we've also able to sum up the review time. So is the review time for this particular issue higher than the normal? And is that driving up the cycle time? So just providing more information and indicators as to why specific issues might be exceeding the average and why those bottlenecks might be there. Cool. So I just want to move across to the next experience we have, and this is the on-call schedule. So this is an integration we have with Opsgenie, and this shows you the on-call schedule for an Opsgenie team, so that when the team has a problem, say you're running a bunch of services and there's a problem with one of those services, you know who to contact in order to have that resolved and have someone take a look at it. So next up, we have the project pages. So this is an integration with Confluence. It allows you to associate different Confluence pages with your project. So to use the services analogy, if you're running a bunch of services, you could have a series of runbooks to address and maintain those services that are stored in Confluence. but are also associated with the project. So that if you have a problem with one of your services that your team owns, you can have the runbook here and hop out to Confluence if you need to diagnose a problem with a particular service. The next experience we have is automation. So I mentioned the graph and how that's an event streaming mechanism. And this is a good example of how we are able to leverage that. So I've set up this automation rule here that basically transitions an issue from to do to in progress when a PR is opened. So that's activity that's happening outside of Jira, but Jira is able to recognize and respond to those events and transition that issue as I've determined here. Finally, we have JQL. So this allows us to be able to search for issues that match certain criteria. So this particular search that I've created here is basically saying, show me all of the issues in this project that have more than one pull request associated with it. And I can save that for future reference, and I can build new filters and searches that I can constantly refer back to about specific criteria that I care about. So this example here is focus on pull requests, but I might want to search across issues that have certain builds or deployments as well. In order to execute on our mission, we're tackling it across 3 different pillars. First up, we'll simplify the toolchain experience. We want to make it easy to get set up and ultimately reduce time to value for our customers. Secondly, we'll go deep with existing categories. Our core centers of gravity today are source code and CI/CD. We want to make this data work harder for our customers, so you'll see us develop new experiences that rely on it. Finally, we want to go broad. So we have a core set of capabilities and experiences, as I've mentioned, and we now want to extend this with new categories and new features. As I've mentioned, we'll explore things like testing, security, observability, but go beyond that as well. We're looking to provide an experience across the entire software delivery lifecycle to better support teams and their work. So we hope you like where we're going with Open DevOps, and we'd love for you to give it a try. You can do this for free at atlassian.com/solutions/DevOps.